Welcome to season 7 of the It Factor podcast. New stories, new guests. If you want to come on a podcast where you can tell your stories, where you can talk how you want to talk, 7 years in, come on the It Factor podcast. And also, the motto is still the same, to keep changing the narrative. If you're ready for great conversations, welcome home. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm back again, another great episode of the It Factor podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeremy Robinson. Today we have someone special. My brother, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Cullen Carson. I am the writer of New Game Plus, which is already out with Ray Comics, Ray Media. And I've also got some new comic books that are on the way. I'm actually finishing one within the next 2 weeks that I'm really excited about.
All right, now, man, that's what's up. I'm proud of you, man. I got to definitely get my hands on it, man. I got to.
And man, I'm excited about sharing it with people. I've actually had this one under wraps for a long time. So the first New Game Plus was more of a manga, so it had the black and white feel. Where this one is going to be a more Western style comic book. So you're gonna get the popping colors and a pretty good story. I've actually got 50 pages for the first book. So I'm super excited about sharing it. But we can get to that in a second.
Definitely. I gotta tell you about mine too, man. So I say,
okay.
First off, man, how are you doing mentally, physically, and emotionally?
That's a great question. So being honest with you, Jeremy, I have actually had one of the best, most productive weeks that I've had this year by far. We were fasting at the church that I attend, and it allowed me to really get focused in some ways for the past like 12 days, I think. And I've been, getting focused, and some great things have happened personally and professionally. And one of the things that was really kind of weighing on me was just the amount of creative backlog that I had, like stuff that I still had to do. And helping to get that focus actually allowed me to get into a really great flow with that. So emotionally and mentally, I am tired. But I am certainly I'm certainly feeling energized by the progress that I'm seeing, and just excited about what comes next. Honestly, as far as physically, I know that I'm 40. I just turned 40 2 months ago, so I know that I'm going into a new part of my life when it comes to making sure that I stay on my health journey. So I'm excited about getting back into a physical fitness regimen. And I am working on putting these sweets down. But as you can see, I have them right here. Yeah, just send some good vibes in my direction, because I'm gonna need it.
You gonna be all right, man. Congratulations on being 40. You'll be all right, man. I just got back from working out. I try to go walk and run, man. Kind of walk more than run now. But I do it on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, man. And it's been going for a year and a half now, and it's been good, man. It's good on my health, good on my mindset. But most of all, it's crazy how I used to work out all the time, and now I'm like, yeah, I got to work this in. So it's cool that I got back to what I do.
Absolutely. So for me, I was never like a runner or a weightlifter, but I played basketball. And as my knees have
got a little
as my knees have gone, they have reminded me on certain occasions that there's only so much basketball that we can do now. And so when I was actually, I don't know if people know, but we are from the same area. And so when I was in our hometown of Fort Valley, I used to play basketball for hours and hours every Saturday, and like multiple times during the week. And now it is not that. It is certainly not that. But I am trying to find the right balance of physical fitness that doesn't require all that basketball required. And I still haven't found something that I really, really enjoy. But it's a journey, and I'm ready to take it. So Physically, I am excited about finding something that really, gets my motor running the way basketball did.
Definitely, definitely. You will, man. You will. So I say you're a child of Tanami, man. I love Tanami. I actually miss it. I wish it was back. I actually go on YouTube sometimes try to find certain things. But I'll say, what gave you your spark to, want to tell stories in the way that you do?
That's a great question. So my mother and father were both storytellers. My dad could tell an amazing story, and my father's no longer with us. But when he was alive, he actually introduced me to all of the Marvel movies, all of the DC characters. Like my dad explained X-Men to me when X-Men 93 came out in 93.
Uh-huh.
Daddy would explain the characters. We would sit down and watch it together every Saturday.
Mhm.
And I thought that Dad was just trying to kind of show me how to be a cool kid, like introduce me to this cool thing, but he
Yeah.
didn't really care about it. What I found out after my father passed away, I found out how much of a comic book nerd he was.
Oh, wow.
And like I thought Dad was just trying to like do things that he could relate to kids with, because we was young, he was a grown man. But
Mhm.
but what I found out was Dad was a comic book nerd since he was really small, and he was actually connecting with us through something that he loved.
Mhm.
And so when I got to daddy introduced me to like superheroes and things like that. And then when I was in middle school, I'm aging myself. When I was in middle school, Toonami first came out, and Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z were two of the hottest things to ever hit my middle school. Fort Valley Middle School was never the same after Dragon Ball Z. And I got into anime that way, but the anime that really gave me the spark to like change things for me personally was an anime called Cowboy Bebop. And
Yeah.
I watched Cowboy Bebop, and the last two episodes of Cowboy Bebop, um, I was like, I wasn't crying, but it was like emotional. And like
Mhm.
after I watched it, I kind of had to sit with the ending for a while. And it was the first time that a cartoon or comic book had felt like bigger than just a kid story.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like a real like emotional like draw, and I wanted to tell. At that time I thought to myself, man, I love to tell stories like this, like even though the ending of Cowboy Bebop makes me sad, I
Definitely.
still was like, man, I would love to be able to do what I just saw.
Mhm.
And I've always had that mindset. I went to school for theater, and I learned from Dr. Wendy Coleman, who is one of the greats. She's now at Alabama State,
Mhm.
I believe. And I continue to be involved in performing. As you know, I was the minister of music at quite a few churches in the area that we grew up in. And then in 2017, I promise I'm getting to the end, but in
You good?
2017, my wife, girlfriend at the time, took me to my first comic convention.
Oh.
And when I saw what was happening at the comic convention,
Mhm.
um, it just really opened up some things for me, because before then I had been trying to write a movie, but as you know, getting a movie produced is really expensive,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to tell a story. Wow, I wanted to tell a story, and
Mhm.
also not spend $1 million on trying to get it
Amen.
produced. And comics gave me the opportunity to do that. So around 2018, I started really starting the comic journey. I found an amazing mentor in TJ Sterling.
Mhm.
And I have been working to put myself out there as far as being an actual comic book writer. And I'm going to tell you, it's been an amazing journey.
That's good, man. That's good. And the crazy thing is seeing your stuff. Like my sister always been like, "You need to get Cullen on the show." I'm talking about when I first started 7 years ago. She's like, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna reach out to him." Da da da. Time goes, and I was sitting there, and I saw your post. That's what social media always be a good place for seeing the positivity, but seeing your people. I
Right.
see it, I was like, hey, look at Big Bro. Okay, wait a minute, he ain't a rope. All right, man. I said, okay, gotta get him. And it's cool now to have you on the show because like I was saying while I was writing the question, I was like, man, you really in so much, man. Definitely was a mentor, man, and inspiration. So to see what you do now, I'm thankful for you, man. Definitely.
Jeremy, that first of all, that means a lot. It's truly it's truly humbling to hear that from the standpoint of the fact that when I was interacting with you, you were always a stand-up guy.
Thank you.
But I did not know that our time together meant that much to you. I thought, I I have I have always thought of myself as a person who I'm trying to, connect with everybody that I'm around and do all of those things. But sometimes, sometimes you hit and sometimes you don't, and everybody doesn't feel the same way about you. But anytime someone says to me like, "Hey, Cullen, I was inspired by the thing that you did," or I was very impressed with that, or man, Cullen, it was just, you were a mentor to me. You were someone that I looked up to. That really means a lot because I didn't know that people couldn't see past all the flaws. You know what I'm saying? Because none of us are perfect, and there were certainly things at the time that I was working my way through.
Mm-hmm.
So to hear someone say that even at that point in my life, which there were some highs and some very lows, but to hear that someone was seeing what I was doing and be inspired by it, it makes me feel good about that guy, that guy that was back there working through those things, and to be able to continue to do it. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Having your own podcast, this work is hard, man.
Yeah.
Social media, all of these things, they're so hard. And so for you to be doing it at the level that you're doing it, and as consistently as you are, it's extremely rewarding to follow you as well, man. Like, it's extremely rewarding to say, hey, I know that guy. Like let me show you, let me show you Jeremy. He does this, you know what I'm saying? Like I can do that. So it's very cool, and I appreciate you saying that to me, and I want to make sure that I give you that same energy right back, man. It's a huge honor to be interviewed by you. Thank you for giving me the time, and man, I just want to make it worth your while.
Indeed. So with that, brother, I say, what's your it factor? Why do you do what you do?
I've always wanted to tell a good story. I watch so much anime and so many shows on television, and there's always been a part of me to say, I want to do that.
Yeah,
I want to do that. And there were a lot of mediums that I thought about, movies, internet serials, and things of that nature. But for the stories I want to tell, with all of the magic and powers and all of those things, comic books, once I went to that convention, they felt so like they felt right. And I think the it factor is, I have watched so many stories, and I've had so many ideas for so many years, that now all of them are just coming together. And I can bring things together in a way that makes sense for people, and really inspires people. So I'm using characters of color. We at Ray Media, which is the company that I work with. Shout out to TJ Sterling and the rest of the crew. At Ray Media, we are interested in not only telling great stories, but we want to tell great stories that center melanated individuals, right? There are times when certain fan bases see a melanated character in their favorite show and they get mad, So we want to tell our own stories. If you want a sci-fi thriller, we've got that. If you want a space opera, we've got that. If you want different types of stories, if you want an isekai, we've got that. So I feel like aligning myself with the stories that I want to tell has really given me the it factor. It's given me a place where I can hang out and connect with people who think like me, and people who want to know what that storytelling can look like. And I'm excited to share it with
I love that. I love that. And I think it. One thing I say, and me and actually Paul from back home, where he was on the show this weekend, and we talked about that. And I told him, I said, at some point, it's a space of me playing football, right? Uh,
them.
it was a lot of times where people would tell you, "Hey, man, that ain't cool," and you like want to set that stuff down. And something that's crazy is he's like, "What changed that for you?" And I said, "I got to college, and I started realizing that people thought like me was like, bro, I like comics, I like the Power Rangers, I like X-Men. Hey, bro, I was wearing some short shirt. They like, bro, I mess with that. Bro, let's go to the comic store. Da da da." And it always been a home for me, and thankful for my brother-in-law for showing me different stuff, like seeing the Dragon Ball Z, seeing all that different
Mhm,
stuff growing, Cowboy Bebop, seeing that growing up. So
mhm,
now that I'm writing one, he like, oh, I'm glad you're doing it. Okay, I can't wait to hear it. Or seeing our characters brought to the forefront is a blessing because you're right. I was just telling him, I was like, yeah, it ain't that many black characters that lead. And then when we do, it's like an issue, like, all right, something going on. But he said, man, I love Static Shock, bro. Like, I remember that TV show. Like, they should make a movie. I'm like, we all think that. And he said, but you writing a book because my comic blends sports and superpowers. And
wow.
he's like, bro, I ain't never seen that, bro. That's something new, da da da. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, I already know the character like you. I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm gonna write from my standpoint, but it's for everybody, And I
Right.
even say the same with the podcast. But like you said, it's got to be a place for us so that people under us can see. Oh, I can write that. I can do that too because it's an open world, just like sports, man. It's for everybody. You don't have just one section for people, and I wish the world could see that from that standpoint and not get so bombarded on it got to be this way. So definitely.
In fantasy, in sci-fi, in a
Mhm.
lot of those genres, we absolutely need to see a space for every
Everybody.
single representation, every single form of representation.
Definitely.
And Jeremy, you and I can't write from we can, but
Yeah,
we
but
we don't necessarily have to force ourselves to
Mhm.
write from a standpoint of individuals that we're not a part of
True.
characters that we don't relate to. I think that it's important to speak to and speak through characters that relate to your stories. You're gonna tell the best story in something that emotionally resonates with you. And
Definitely.
so that's the goal of what I try to do. Now, every character is not going to be exactly like Cullen Carson
Right.
or the people in Cullen Carson's life, but there are pieces of my life and pieces of those people that I love that absolutely can go into characters, and they that kind of that kind of work makes the writing worthwhile. Like, you would get sick of writing about something that you don't care about.
You're right.
Writing about things that you care about makes it so much. It has made it so much more rewarding for me. And there are some hard writing days. Like, there are
Yeah.
some days writing where I'm like, man, I just want to put this down and go. But even on those days, it feels excellent to know, like, hey, um this is something that I've never seen before. This is a character that I've never seen on the page before.
Mhm.
How are my people gonna see this, and how is it gonna affect them? And if there's one little kid or one older kid who reads this book and says, "Man, maybe I can do this too,"
Yeah.
then the job is done. You know,
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, the job is done. Even if they say, "Man, I can do it better than this. This sucks."
Okay.
All right, the job is done. At
Good.
least, at least I've inspired you to go out there and create, because
Hmm.
we need creators.
We need it. It's
We
forever. It's
it
forever.
is. It absolutely is. And if the goal is always to make sure that I am putting it out there so that my creativity can inspire the people who think like me and who may be looking for permission to go ahead and do it. Here's your permission. Here's a black guy from a small town with 3 intersections with traffic lights who decided he was going to write a comic book, and now he's writing it.
Indeed, bro. So let's head on to that. You know, coming from, Fort Betty, Georgia, where we're both from. I'll say, did you ever imagine that you would be writing a manga, also in a comic? And what mentality did you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, to even make you think that it was accessible to you?
So coming from Fort Valley, there were a lot of amazing things about Fort Valley. There are so many great things about being from a small town.
Yes.
I think that it's important to say that people who come from small towns can do huge things, and they have done huge things throughout history. So, when growing up, I never saw my city on TV. I never saw, like you would see Atlanta, you would see New York, but I never saw, my place. And so, and I didn't see towns like mine on TV. So I kind of grew up like, man, maybe where I'm from isn't significant. And in my time since growing up, I've realized just how significant places like mine are, and how significant Fort Valley is. You know what I'm saying? I met my wife there. I grew up there, and there are so many amazing things about Fort Valley. When I was in Fort Valley, I did not necessarily think that I would be here, but I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the Fort Valley bred that desire in me for, for telling these stories and for doing these things. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I wanted to do it. And then we moved to Atlanta, and then we actually did the first comic convention in Washington, D.C. But after that, we started doing comic conventions in Atlanta, and in the Atlanta conventions that I was going to, the first one I went to was called MomoCon. Check it out if you ever get a chance.
All right.
The great thing about Atlanta is it's got a diverse population, but it also has a strong Black nerd population. They call them blurs, and the blurs come out to those Comic Cons, and so I actually saw Black creators making Black comic books at that convention for the first time. And it was like, yo. And so I started going to them and looking at the books. I started buying all the comics that I could, and just kind of, seeing what people were doing. Like, oh, okay, this is, what I'm saying? Okay, this is what it is. And then once I got my nerves up, my wife had to talk me up to it. Indeed. But I got the nerve to actually ask one of the people who I saw doing it, like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? And they started teaching me, man. And as soon as I saw the first panel come to life from one of my scripts, I was hooked. I was like, man, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta do it, because like you said, coming from Fort Valley, sometimes the anime nerd or the guy who reads all the comic books, sometimes people will say to you like, hey, that ain't cool, man. Like why you so lame? You know what I'm saying, doing this and that. Lame is a word that people used to use back in the day. I don't know if they still on that one, but
they should forever use it. But things change.
Correct. But like I had I definitely had my share of people tell me like, hey man, you need to stop all that drawing, man. You drawing in those books, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't got time for that. But there were also people in Fort Valley who were like, yo, Cullen, that's really cool. Like, this is a really cool story. This is something really cool. You should check this out. And like, even now, I don't draw as much as I used to. I'm trying to get back into it. But the writing part of it, just creating the characters and coming up with these great stories in my mind, man, it pumps me up when I think about it. And so, to answer the question, did I think I would be doing this? I didn't know how I was going to get here, but I absolutely, this is something that I have wanted since I was very young.
Okay.
Now, to be able to do it, and I can see how the people from Fort Valley and the people that who were around me and my support have really walked with me through this, and I'm super grateful for them and for it.
I love that, man. I'm proud. I know it's gonna continue to get even better, man, as you grow. And when I saw everything, even from your post, I was just like, "Bro, doing okay? He doing it." And I said, "That ain't nothing but God," because the whole time, I think that's when I was thinking about writing the comic because I'm a two-time author already. I wrote a book, The Black Man, and then The Art of Networking because of podcasting. And once everything was happening with the podcast, I was like, bro, I need to write about this because I'm literally getting guests. I've never thought I'd be talking to. I'm doing it, and people kept asking, "How do you do it?" Like, bro, tell. So I wrote the guide to it. How I did it, and in the essence of doing that, bro, me and my line brother was in the comic store, and we were just picking up some comics, and he was like, "Man, you should write one." And I'm talking about I just kept getting signs. So I prayed about it, kept on going, and that's when I think I reached out to you. I was like, bro, I seen your post and everything. I was like, man, I need to reach out to bro. I was like, man, I think I'm about to write one. He's like, how far are you in it? And I was like, to now see that I'm in the third chapter of 5, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. I got an illustrator already. I got the people I'm working with, and he's a real good guy because he drew my comic cover, but he happy. He excited. He's like, bro, I can't wait to bring, the main character to life. I can't wait to do this. And he like very involved. And it's a blessing, bro, because I never thought I'd be doing it, and just to see yourself doing it, I'm just like, not only I got to buy the comics, I'm like, bro, I got to talk to him about this. Anytime when the comics come out, hit me up, man. I dang sure promote it, and also we can do another talk. Definitely do another talk, man. So I'll say,
Just,
who is Cullen Carson outside of all you're known for?
um, who am I outside of all I'm known for?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do want to say thank you, man. I appreciate
You're
you, bro.
welcome. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Who am I outside of? So honestly, I'm a nerd at heart.
Uh-huh.
Um, I Now I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm an uncle now.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm working on being a father.
I'm a
Um,
father. I gotta tell you that too. I am a father.
you a father?
Yeah. Just became a father in November. Yep.
I'm trying to get where you are, my friend.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to get where you are.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
So I am I'm a dude who has come a long way. Like listen, um as far as who I am, I spent like a lot of my young days worried about who I wasn't,
Mm.
right? And seeing what I didn't have and what everybody had around me and what wasn't working for me and um what wasn't going in my favor and the things that I had been through that I was still struggling with. And I spent so much time seeing that person that I actually got distracted from pursuing what I was, who I was, what I was good at, what I did love. You know what I'm saying? The things that really were important to me. And in the process of learning how to love and appreciate me,
Hmm.
I had to put down looking at everyone else, and I realized how much time I had really, I won't say wasted, but how much time I had really given to things that weren't necessarily helpful to me and that weren't even on my path. And so I'm a person who's learning more every day about how to give my time, my love, and my energy to the things that are actually important, and working to make sure that I don't get distracted by the distractions of comparison. You know what I'm saying? by the distractions of, like, hey, Cullen, you're 40, and somebody else was finished with their comic book story at 28, and now you're 40. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you're too late, and things like that. Like, I'm a person who definitely deals with um the critic and the creative. So that's what I like to call it. So I have this creative part of me that's like, man, I can do this. I can, I'm loving this creation process. And then there's a critic part of me that's like, Cullen, everything you write sucks. What I'm saying, this is terrible. And so what I have learned is that you can't work in your creative side and your critic side at the same time. You have to put one of them. You have to put one of them away. You know what I'm saying? And so my critic is super strong. he is a super strong dude. But my creative is I'm giving more of that energy now to my creative. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving more of that time. And I am a man who learned how to change his mindset, and it's not always perfect. There are certainly some things that I'm still working through, but I think when you ask who is Cullen Carson, I am the picture of changed mindsets, of working to change your mindset. I like I said, I was on a path of just accepting that the life that I had built for myself by 20 and the good and bad decisions that I had made by 25 were all my life was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where I am. And partnering with such a great woman like my wife Jasmine, and surrounding myself with people who inspired me, I was able to see that they were thinking differently than I was thinking. And I started trying to pursue how to think differently about myself. And shifting that mindset has been a huge factor in getting to the point where I'm more comfortable telling my story and writing it and sharing it with people. And again, um, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I am committed to hearing, listening, and trying to get better. And I am committed to bringing joy to people who I know and who I don't know. I want to make sure that, like, I'm not no horror story writer. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I want to write a story that people enjoy reading, and that people, can find joy in. And there are other writers who can pull out the other emotions from people. I may not be that, but I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. And I'm also proud of the journey, which is something I couldn't always say. But I'm proud of the journey, and I'm getting even better.
I love that, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you
Thanks.
for that. I'm proud of you because being vulnerable and as a black man is the most important thing, and telling the truth. And I commend you for doing that. And I even respect you even more. So
Hey
definitely.
man, we wear a lot of masks, and I know I'm not the only person. But we wear a lot of masks for the sake of portraying what I'll say for me. I wanted to portray what I thought success should look like, even when I didn't feel that way.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? I wanted to portray that, and so I did a lot of things to kind of hide things that I was going through. And like I said, in the course of learning more about what was going on with me, and getting more alignment in my own personal life and my values. What I have learned is that the most complete version of me um, doesn't have to run from those things, right? I can include all of those things into being the best version of myself. It doesn't mean I have to stay stuck in old habits, but I also don't have to um, hold the shame from those habits, right? And that's one thing that I hope that I can share with people along the way is that, like, hey, there are going to be things that you're not proud of. There are going to be things that you did at one point in your life that no longer serve you. And just because you did those things doesn't mean you have to um stay in the jail that those things had you in. Like, you don't have to stay captive
Definitely.
in those things. And so I'm a person who's still working through issues as much as anyone else. But I'm also learning, and like I said, just changing that mindset, continuing to do that, and being focused on just being 1% better every day.
Yeah.
And every day I don't make that mark, but trying to focus on being 1% better every day, and getting back up and doing it again, putting one foot in front of the other.
I love that, man. I'll say, what's your goals now, with your manga and also your comic books to come?
So the goal with the comic books is to tell a great complete story. With New Game Plus, I think right now I want to do at least 5 books, maybe 8.
Okay.
One for each of the worlds that he goes on, and for the story that I'm currently telling, I think it's going to be closer to 12 or 13. There's a reason for that. I'll get to it. But ultimately, I think that that's where I'm trying to go. I want to tell complete stories, and those are my aims. If as I'm writing, if things change, I want to be open to the creative process. But I do have my outlines and things that I have already kind of constructed to get that together. The goal is to tell a complete story and to present it to people in a way that entertains them.
Okay.
I want to tell stories about the people that I want to tell stories that matter to me, about people that matter to me, and I want to have as much fun along the journey as I can. Um, Storytelling builds communities.
Mhm.
Storytelling really builds communities. What you see, think about the fact Dragon Ball Z was made by one dude in a room, in a manga studio, and now, some 40 years later, there are people who dress like those characters that were in his head. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
and
crazy.
there are so many people like that
Mhm.
it's built a whole community. Like, I can go to New York for New York Comic Con, and I can see someone in a Dragon Ball Z shirt, and I automatically know that we have something in common. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Never seen this person in my life.
Yeah.
We have this story in common. So now, um, we've just established a link between us, two strangers, just from a story. And that's what great storytelling does. Great storytelling connects people who are totally strangers in the context and community of that story. And that's what I want to do. I want to build communities
Mhm.
off of the stories that I tell. And I think that it's possible. You see it every day with Jujutsu Kaisen. You see it with Captain America. You see
Yep.
it with Marvel Comics, DC Comics. How many people do you know have a Batman shirt, right?
Everybody. Look,
Everybody got
we
a.
got Superman on right now.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody got a superhero shirt. So even if you and I didn't know each other, I can look at that shirt and have something in common with you. And
Mhm.
that's what stories do. They invite us to explore our common bonds,
Yeah.
right? And so that's the goal of every story. I want to tell a story that's entertaining, that invites people to grasp their common bonds and come together. And I think that is I think that's a pretty noble goal, and I seek to meet it every time.
Yeah, man. You gonna meet it. You already meeting it. That's the cool thing. And it's cool to see that you're continuing to do it. And there's gonna be so many people that's gonna get you it is. And it happened to me. I was I was at a book event and I'm handing out books and doing I had my shirts for the podcast. and a young guy walked up and said, "Yeah, man, I've been watching you since you was in your apartment." And I was like, "Jeremy, what?" "Yeah, you had a mattress in the first episode of this song, so but like I had to get here to see your book, man." I was looking at my wife, I was like, and she was like, "Yeah." So after it happened, I said, "Man, all I can say is thank you. Like, man, thank you. That mean a lot, you know." And still that he followed the show, he gets in touch with me and stuff like that. And once I said something about the company, he like, "Dang, I can't wait. You writing the company? Like, I can't wait." And it's like we said, that one person, he one of those people, and it's a lot of people like that, you know. And like you said, it's cool to see people come together for some positivity, man, and that really want to see the good, you know, in the world with so much craziness going on. It's so cool to see that we making a positive impact, you know, because I feel like that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I got a question for you.
Hmm.
So what was the what was the feeling like
Hmm.
when you found out that somebody had been following you for that long? Like how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like me, like at first, like, dang, me. But then it was like, dang, it's bigger than me. Like, this is cool that this happening. Like, it's a feeling that it's just like it's one of them like, dang, it really happened. Like somebody really watching. I felt like all the money in the world, all the fame in the world, that was it. Like, you know, and that's what I'm chasing. Like that one more person, like, hey, yeah, I like, and that's what cool. I thank God for giving me that mindset, you know, that it ain't gotta be a million people. And even if it happened, I'm still gonna know how to take it because that one person said, "Man, I like your stuff, man. You know, I remember when you." So it's Cullen, it's one of them like, bro, what? Like you like me, man, from Fort Valley, Georgia, to do that with the veterans and you. How you know that? You know, and it kind of make you like, God, you did yours. Like, what? I didn't know you could do this, but you did. Okay, cool. And I just want everybody to feel that. I feel that when that happened with the podcast every week, it's like a good endorphin. Like every time somebody can say something, even they can say they don't like something, I'll be like, all right, look, what don't you like? All right, I get better at it. You know, it helps me better. That dude really helped me with the criticism thing of, dang, ain't that good this song? So no, I'm good to somebody. Shoot it. So if they think that, okay, let me go ahead and keep doing this, you know. So I'm thankful, man. I'm glad you asked that. But yeah, that's how I felt like me. Like that's literally what happened. I was like, me of all people, like yes, that.
When did you have your moment like where you were like, okay, this is like this is actually more than what I thought it could be for you? Like what was the like, yo, like,
Yeah.
oh,
So
this,
it's about to get you. I was watching the game with my mom. We used to always watch football when she was here, and
yeah,
you know, and the big, you know, my mom big in my life, man. So
yeah,
having her, we watching football, and Maya Shaka, the first ever female black official, was on the field. My mom was like, "You should interview her." And I'm like, "Okay, you know, I'll try." So some years passed, and I actually did it. And the same thing with Ryan Clark, a big football player, man. I had him on the show and came, and even with having my boys on from back home to see that we all went to college and tell their stories. I say all those kind of once that happened after a season, it's probably like season 3 or season 4. Once all that happened,
mm-hmm.
I really was sitting in here, man. I was like, dang, like I really did. Like I could have stopped right there. I'm like, I really did some good stuff. Like I done brought on these people. My mom was like talking about this. Like I brought her on. Okay, cool. I met her, and she remembered. She was like, yeah. She told me straight up, face to face. She was like, yeah, your podcast is one of the best podcasts I've been on. And I done been on many platforms, but like the way you treated me, the way you reached out, like that's very respectable. Same with Ryan Clark, you know. And even when people come and then having my boys on, that meant a lot, man, because of stuff we had been through, you know, just seeing how successful we are and continue to successfully support each other. So it literally are times like that that I'm like, dang, I can't believe the podcast that, and I really started saying like, okay, again, it's bigger than me. I need to keep doing this, you know, and try to get better at it, you know. So even having a podcast with you today, man, I know this meant a lot, man, because you were with me when I was a teenager. Before this even existed, for who I am, the cool thing is seeing that we still can come back and have a great conversation. You get to tell me about your story, man. So I'm thankful for it, man. Very thankful.
Hey man, that's dope to hear. And I have seen some of your podcast guests, and like, man, it's certainly amazing to watch. It's certainly amazing to like see, and then um like to know we from the same area. You know what I'm saying? Like that's extremely cool. Like I was in church with that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, you know what I'm saying? And those are the types of things. Like, man, it's a lot of great things from the area that we came up in, and it's
Mhm.
a lot of people with these types of dreams that are able to look at what you're doing and say, like, if he can do it, it's possible. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
possible. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's super dope. Thank you for sharing that with me.
No problem, man. So I say for inspiring authors, and lovers of comics, I would say, what advice would you give them?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna try to go quick. Number one, if
Mhm.
you are not going to draw your own book, make sure that you connect with the right artist. If you're not going to draw your own book, make sure you connect with the right artist. You
Yeah,
can spend a lot of money and not get what you want if you don't connect with the right artist. So make sure you do that. Also, make sure you got a plan for your story.
yes,
Don't just get out here on vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because by page 13, vibes might not be working no more.
you're right.
Saying so, make sure you get out here. You got a plan. Make sure you got an outline or something where you know where your story is going to go. The first step is finding something that you, because I'm all out of order. But the first step, write about things that you love and write some short stories. Um, don't try to start a 100-page graphic novel or 200-page graphic novel. Start with writing 1 page or 4 page story about something that you like, because 4 pages might be a scene, and if you got about 5 scenes, you got a whole book. You know what I'm saying? So break it down into manageable pieces and move from there. And don't be afraid of rewriting. Don't be afraid of revising. Um, and you'll be able to do it. There are a lot of um, also, don't think that just because you're writing, don't think that your comic book script has to look a certain way. There's a million different ways to write a comic book script. Find one that works for you. Do some research. Find a comic book script style that works from you, and work from that. Work from that template. Um, I have gone through like a few different styles. I found one that worked for me, and I've been writing with it, and I found pretty good success. I have I think that finding, first thing, write about something you love. So let's say them in order. First thing, write about something that you love. The second thing is have an outline. You know what I'm saying? Have some structure before you start your script. The third thing is find a script style that works for you and use your outline, write your script. The fourth thing is don't start with a huge script. Start with something very small. Start compiling scenes. Learn how to make a punchline in 1 page. You know what I'm saying? Take me from the beginning of the joke to the end of the joke in 1 page, and in 5 panels or less. And that way, you can have something. Learn how to leave me with a cliffhanger at the end of 1 page, so that I want to turn the page to the next page. You know what I'm saying? So write small scripts, and then after you write small scripts, you will learn how to compile those pages into one larger thing. And by the time you've done those things, you've written what you wanted to write. Um, that would probably be the order that I would say to do it. The other thing that I would say is, if you're not great at this immediately, don't give up, right? Give yourself the space to learn, give yourself the space to grow, and it's going to happen for you. Like if you will decide that no matter whether today's writing sucks or whether it's the greatest thing I've ever written, all I'm gonna do is come back here tomorrow and write some more. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too high, don't get too low. And the thing I said about the creator versus the critic, make sure there is a time for the critic, but make sure that when you're writing, make sure to shut that critic out and leave that creator the space to work.
I love that. I love that. And I wish I had that advice when I wrote the first book.
Hey
I wish
man, you already doing it, so you already know all this stuff, man. I need to be taking notes from you.
I'll say I got a few rapid fire questions for you, man, before we get out of here. I'll say Toonami or Saturday morning cartoons.
Definitely. Ooh.
It's hard. That's hard.
I'm gonna go with Toonami. I'm gonna go with Toonami. Yeah.
All right. Protagonist or antagonist?
Protagonist every day.
Black. I say not black. I say white manga or full color stories in script. So yeah, I like both though.
Yeah. So depends on what day it is. I'm reading a lot more manga right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that I don't get down with some with some good comic books.
True.
But I'm reading more manga right now.
All right, and I'll say music while creating or silence.
I'm a black noise dude. White noise dude. Excuse me. White noise dude. So like I do I'm either silent or white noise. I don't do music often because when I'm writing words, I'm a musician, so I'll start singing lyrics and doing I'll be over here, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta go with white noise or I gotta go silent.
Yeah, I'll say how do you this just made me think, how do you separate the two then? Like whenever you are doing something and something come to you, how you able to say, okay, let me go ahead. I'm gonna write it down in my notes real quick and get back to this.
It's so hard. It is so hard. There are I got ADHD, and so like when something really like when I have a new idea and it really like hits me like you should do this, it can throw off everything that it's like, oh my god, like I gotta. But I'm learning how to manage that better, how to like a voice note like, hey, okay, what if this happened, blah 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 blah, and then put that down and then be like, okay, Cullen, let's focus back on this. Now let me say this, Jeremy. That does not always work. Sometimes I'll be way over here. I'll be way over there. But I'm that so let's say for that one, work in progress. Work in progress.
All right. And then I'll say Marvel or DC.
Marvel every day, man. I'm sorry. I love DC. My dad, God rest him. My dad was a DC guy. He liked Marvel, but my dad was a DC guy. And I am not a DC guy. You got to give me the Marvel guys. I'm gonna take a Spider-Man over a Batman every day, and I know that may cause me a lot of shame for your listeners and your viewers, but I'm a Marvel guy.
My boy just did the same the other day, bro. He was like, "Dang, you gonna make me choose?" Yeah, Spider-Man, dog, over Batman. Yeah. I love Batman though, but like, and no, he said Batman over Spider-Man because you know what he said? I can beat Batman. I'm like, oh man, no man.
Want me to tell you who my guy for Batman would be? Daredevil.
Yeah.
So Daredevil would be, now obviously Daredevil has superpowers. I get it, but like street level fighting crime like Batman does, Daredevil is a great comparison for that. So I think that I'm gonna give you this one. I think that when DC started, all of the characters were like just the idealized version of themselves. So like none of those characters had any problems. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with Marvel, all the characters were like human. They had like human problems. And I think that for me, their origin having like that human element in it makes the difference. Like you know, Spider-Man is a teenager and he has teenager issues. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, looking at somebody that had issues similar to mine, it was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Whereas if you look at the old Batman with the pow and the boom in it, you know what I'm saying? Like he was just Batman, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just what he did. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just for me, I like X-Men was my first major comic book. And you may not know this about me, but I'm a black man, right? And so that may come as a surprise to you who are also black man. But you know, like looking at them and seeing how they were discriminated against, you know what I'm saying? And how that was actually a part of their thing, you know, obviously I could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, my mom was actually the first black valedictorian of her school, and they would not give her the scholarship that came with being the valedictorian because she was black. Wow. Even though they had forced them to go to the white school. My mom is the first black valedictorian of Macon County High School. Wow. And she was going to the black school, and then when integration happened, they made them move to the white school, which was Macon County High School at the time. But when she got over there and she overachieved with her studies, and she got the valedictorian, they were not going to award her the valedictorian honor. So there was a little bit of my grandmother, her mother, came up to the school and showed out, and basically they gave my mom the valedictorian honor, but they did not give her the scholarship. Oh, wow. So you know, you know, discrimination is something that I'm aware of from you know, from on a personal level, and so seeing the mutants there being discriminated against, it certainly you know, it made them more relatable to me. So I'm a Marvel guy. I said all that to say I'm a Marvel guy. This was supposed to be rapid fire.
I love it. You gave the story. See, that's how we know the stories is good. You gave the whole story. And that's why I like Marvel too, man. I like Marvel because of the stories. I'm seeing that even with me writing the comic. Like my wife been like, I've been doing a lot of Predator versus this. I got Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe. Like I had a lot of that I've been reading, even for back stuff for me being able to write the comic. Because I'm sitting there like, dang, I ain't know I like this. But I like how much I can connect with it because of Marvel just got great stories. I'm just gonna be honest.
Absolutely.
And I say, what do you hope people take from your journey?
All right. That there is that there is no point in your life that you can't move forward from, right? So just that. I think that you can always have the courage to decide I'm going in a direction that I don't want to go in. And now that I've decided that, I can change. Like you know, I can change. And I think that you know, I want to be clear. I've not lived a hard life. There are people who have lived a much harder life than me, who have overcome way more obstacles. But I have had obstacles, and I have had a lot of self-doubt. I've had a lot of, like I said, that comparison disease. And I decided that I was no longer going to live like that. And I really feel strongly that there are a lot of people who have gotten to maybe their 30s and they've decided like, hey, I've waited too late. It's too late for me now. And I just want those people to know like, hey, like there's a kid inside of you that if they knew that they had grown up to be who you've become, they would be so excited about it. You know what I'm saying? And like the parts of it that they wouldn't be excited about are still changeable. You know what I'm saying? And so if you want to if you want to change something about your life at 50 or at 70, like as long as you've still got the breath to do it, it's still available to you. Like hey, this guy wrote his first comic after 30. You know what I'm saying? I wrote my first comic after 30.
Yeah.
And like some of my peers were already, they already had their law degrees. They already had all of these amazing accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? By the time 5 years before I wrote my first comic book, I would, one of my line brothers was a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like there are people who have made a lot of great moves in their own lives, and it took me a little bit longer to, you know what I'm saying, like figure it out. And we're not running the same race. And if a change needs to happen, I am okay making that change for me at this point in my race, right? So I just want to encourage people like, hey man, it's 100% possible, and you can 100% make the changes that you want to see, no matter what age, no matter what time, and you can pursue what you want to pursue. And man, also, just being honest with you, I want people to know that like God is amazing. In all of the steps of my journey, I believe that there has been a divine order to that, and it's not woo 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. It's just like, hey man, there were a lot of times where it could have been over. You know what I'm saying? There were a lot of times where it could have been different, and there are a lot of times where I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like losing a parent, things like that. They change your life. Yes. And in spite of all of those very difficult moments, I feel like I have always been able to find hope in trusting in my faith. And so it's given me a foundation to start. Now I'm still not perfect, but I believe that God loves me when I'm not, right? Yep. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I do want people to know that, and just doing the best I can every day. And I'm gonna stop rambling now because I'll go on. But that is what I want people to know. I want people to know that they can do it too. And that once you make that decision to change, you changing your mind is you changing your life.
I love that, bro. I love that. I'll say, do you happen to have any questions for me?
So when can I get the first comment?
Yeah, man. So I'll be done with it. Probably I ain't gonna give myself no timeline, but soon you will get it. Soon.
Okay. Okay. Well, I realized I never said what my comic was about. So New Game Plus, I'll hit you with this one before I leave. New Game Plus is an action isekai adventure that follows Don. He's a war veteran with PTSD. He wakes up in the world of his favorite platform video game, and he has to navigate figuring out how to use his new powers while also dealing with the hallucinations from his past. So if you like anything like Sonic the Hedgehog, if you like things like Super Mario, if you like the platform video game genre, think about what if Wolverine woke up in the Mushroom Kingdom and had to learn how to be Mario. That's what New Game Plus kind of gives you, that kind of vibe. You can find it right now on www.raycomics.com. Their website. You can actually go to that website and pick that one up. It's only $20 for the first 2 chapters in one book. That story is ongoing. I've got another story that I am going to be coming out with. The name is kind of tentative right now. It's somewhere between Spades and 13 books, but the story is basically it's based on the Spades card game, right? So it kind of goes off of what if each suit, the spades, the hearts, the diamonds, and the clubs, what if each suit was a group of super powered humans who had their own power within their suit type. And you know, it goes from the least powerful to the most powerful of those different suit types. So I don't want to say too much about it yet, but the story kind of revolves around that's the concept of the story. And so if you're a person who looks like me and you might have played some spades in your life. This is a story that kind of gives an actual framework for the game of spades. So yeah, that's an exciting one for me.
Yeah, you own to something. You own to something with both. But with that, you own to something else, man. And I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see how you promote it too. Because you about to get some people, man. Yeah, that's good right there.
Hey man, I'm excited about it. The comic books, like I said, I work with Ray Comics. We've been doing this for a while now. The guy that started the publishing house is TJ Sterling. He's got over 10 years in the industry. Used to work for Marvel, and then he decided to do his own thing. TJ is somebody that I greatly respect, and he's kind of taught me the steps. So you'll be seeing more from me. And anytime I'm on socials and I'm promoting any of Ray Media stuff, I'm promoting the company that kind of helped get me a start. So I got nothing but love for those guys, and I want to give a shout out to them as well. As far as other questions for you,
yeah, I need all the questions.
Okay, so I got two more. What would you say is like you excluding me? What would you say is your favorite interview that you've done on your podcast?
My favorite interview I've done on my podcast was with one of them was with the great Gail Bean, man. And the reason why is I love her work. I love the actress that she is. She's from I don't want to get it wrong. She's from Stone Mountain. So that was cool that she's from Georgia.
Right.
But on top of that, just to see that the process that it happened. I had one of my frat brothers on that happens to be my brother-in-law's line brother, and had him on and did a great show. And after the show, he asked me, he said, "Hey man, you got anybody you want to have on the show?" I told him Gail. A few weeks later, the email came through. I got in touch with her team, and long story short, she was sitting on my couch a couple months later. That is God. That is networking, and the conversation we had was cool because it's like an out of body moment happened. Like my wife was sitting right here on the camera. I'm interviewing her, and I'm sitting here like, this is somebody that I look up to. Like I like her work, man, and I like the person she is. And it was cool to meet her and see that she real cool, laid back, and that was very good, man. And then, like I said, with my friends, that was a great one because that was another out of body moment. Cause I was like, I remember we was not thinking we was gonna go to college. This is happening, and to see where we are now, that was cool, man. But definitely them two, some of my top ones. And of course, every episode is a great episode. Every episode. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I love that. Second one, personal. What is the greatest Peach County High School football team of the 2000s?
Oh God. That old 506. No. Whoa, I'm wrong. Even though they won, that is good. But 03. AJ Bryant. I'm gonna tell you why. AJ Bryant to me was better than NFL. I'm gonna tell you something. In my comment, you're gonna see I talked about it in the beginning of the expert why it was conversations at the middle school, the high school, that Peach County a high school could beat Fort Valley State. we could beat the Falcons. That's how I feel. I'll tell you though, that run from 03 to what I got it up here. 2000 and what did I do? 2010 we went to the state semi. Yeah, 2000 probably 12. You couldn't stop none of us. You couldn't stop Peach County. But that 03 started it. I feel like 90s was cool, don't get me wrong. But
yeah,
2003, that AJ Bryant to me was a superhero, man. Like, I don't know. And then it came same with Antonio Henry with 05 and 06. Like, him and the other guy, they was very good.
Slaughter.
They're the reason I like, he the reason I like Ohio State. Just gonna be honest. But it was cool to see that in a small town. Absolutely. And to see the fruits of it. Like now to see their kids, to see different people still doing good. Granted, they haven't been at the state yet. I can't wait till they happen again. But the cool thing, I ain't gonna lie, 03, you can tell me I'm wrong. 03 was it.
No. I graduated with AJ Bryant. I am a proponent of AJ Bryant. I believe that the 03-04 team was that was an amazing group of guys. Tony Wright was on that team. There were so many like amazing moments. Being in the band and being able to watch it all. I'm super proud of those guys. There have been a lot of amazing talents at Peach County. DeMarcus Robinson is still in the lead right now. Big shots out to him, right? So it's some greats. It's some real greats out there from Peach County. My favorite team for me is that 03 team. Yeah. I believed that they were gonna win every game that I saw. I believed that.
And I was there as a kid. Like, let me see. I was out there in the rain watching them in LaGrange. I'll never forget. They look like the team looked like the Dallas Cowboys. They was big, but to see how they played in the rain and still beat them, I was like, bro, they can't lose. They cannot lose. And then they set it up. The funny thing is, they set it up for, and I wish kids seen this, for the 05, 06, 07, and on their own.
Exactly.
Because they really made us know, like, by the time I got to high school, it was like, you got to do this. This is all you got to do. You definitely make it. And we did. And to see that I went to state, I guess we didn't win. We should have won. But just to see that it was able to still go just because of what they said, I would never say they're not good. They was good. They was the best.
Y'all had some strong. We had strong teams all throughout that run. This is like deep in the podcast stuff. Everybody not gonna like this, but go back and look at those teams.
Look at it.
Go back and look at those teams. We had some.
We got film. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. It's all on there.
We got film for it, but nah, man, y'all even after that like era, like you were saying, like 05 and beyond to about 12, Peach County High School was like known, statewide and even further than that. So, that is, you are a part of that legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know from someone who is actually a part of the legacy, like, what does that look like for you? But
yeah, man, it's cool to take the hat off and be like, yeah, we were all right, but hey. But the funny thing was, I got up here to Atlanta and I got to Clark. In school or whatever, and I ran into one of my coaches. He's like, man, I'll give you a scholarship right now. I'm like, look, coach, I had scholarship to Tuskegee. I wasn't going. I'm done with football, right? Cool. But he's like, man, the things y'all did. Then another coach like, the things y'all did. Y'all beat my high school. He named the high school. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I got it at home. I got a whole little. And that's the thing. It's cool now. I be showing my wife. I'm like, yeah, we beat a team 60 to this. We beat these. Yeah, he in the NFL, but this happened right here. Yeah, I did it.
Right. but he had to wear that.
He had it. You see right here, he wasn't going that night.
So. Yeah, he had to wear it. Yeah. Black hats all day. I love it.
Yes, man. But thank you, brother, for the episode, man. Look, you done made my week. It's only Monday, man. But thank you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate this, Jeremy. If there is any, if there's any time that I can support or any way that I can support, let me know. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, man. I hope I hope to continue to follow and see the amazing things that you do. Thank you so much.
Indeed. And look, I got to work with y'all, man. So I got to get the comment to y'all too. Got to get it to you, then get it to your people too.
Hey, man. Just send it my way, man. I want to read it. I want to read it.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sounds great.